Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. Hello, sunshine. Welcome back to Be Visible with Veronica. Last week's episode with Bobby Bennett, precious story of how at 79 you can still become an author, a best-selling one at that. Go back and take a listen. She shares some amazing stories of how she transformed herself after 2 funerals and 1 divorce. Yes, 3 husbands. But for now, we're taking a little bit of a shift. We're talking about something that every entrepreneur needs to know. Period. Mic drop. You have to know this. Today, I have invited Lynn Whitbeck in from Seattle. She is not only the new managing director for eWomen Network, but she has crafted a business of 10 years. And I'm not going to say the old name because we're getting used to the new name and the new brand, but the strategy and the person is exactly the same. Lynn Whitbeck, welcome to Be Visible with Veronica.
Oh, Veronica, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I think you're right. So stay tuned and hang on for the ride because we are talking about the lifeblood of growing a business. And so many women struggle with this.
Yeah, you betcha.
So we're going to talk about why you decided to shift into becoming an entrepreneur in this space. And you are very clear that you are not a coach. You said that to me over and over again. You're not a guide. You're a strategist. And there's a difference in sales. Let's talk about what that is.
Yeah, so in sales, when you're looking at your sales strategy, what you're really doing is creating a plan, a blueprint that you can follow, that as you grow your business, one of the things you need to be able to do is hire more salespeople. If you truly want to scale, and if you just hire people and you just turn them loose, well, good luck with that. But when you have a consistent, repeatable, and scalable sales process, you've got that blueprint, then your salespeople that you hire, they can be successful. They can hit the ground running. And you don't waste your time, energy, or resources, or the heartbreak of having to let somebody go who didn't work out in sales. But not only that, you've been able to capture some of that founder magic and put that into the sales plan that really distinguishes how you're unique, how your business is unique, and how you serve your clients is unique.
I love that. You said something, though, Lynn, that I think might give a start to some of the listeners and viewers here. You said create a sales team. Well, some entrepreneurs find themselves currently as solopreneurs, and they might not be thinking about how to replicate or duplicate themselves. Now, there's a million models of business out there where you do just that, or you have a product and a product line that you're representing and you're putting it out into the universe. But those who have service-based businesses might be thinking of themselves as the IP for their company, me included. So how are you growing and scaling as yourself with a sales team? Should it be another product offering, or should it be the only thing that you're doing, or you have a ladder of success of people, how they're working with you, or product tiers? I mean, we were talking about Monica Walls a minute ago and her beautiful lips that we wear, Kefka's Uzna, and she's a new company, I think 1 or 2 years old. And she's somebody who could scale because she has multiple colors and multiple products she offers. But I also know she's so particular about her ingredients and her quality standards that one manufacturing plant might not always be great. So there's so many things that go into that business model. But you talked earlier in our prior to live conversation about why women in general have a really hard time with that 4-letter word, SALE.
Well, I think in general, women think of sales as sleazy and slimy because they've been sold to, they've been pitched at, they've been mansplained, all the things.
Pitched at,
I
that's a
really
good
pitch slap. So I want everyone to take a step back.
Okay.
And I want you to take a moment with a deep breath and really think about your products and services and how you create impact, how you change the lives of your clients, whether it's a direct-to-consumer product like Keka's, or if it's a coach, you're a coach, if you're creating a new type of marketing plan for them or helping them be visible. Now that's very different. That's a service and you're selling more B2B, right? Mm-hmm. But regardless, the principles are the same. You're creating real impact for your clients. You're making a difference. It matters. And the people that you help and serve, that's what you're doing in sales. Sales is service, and it's helping your clients achieve their goals, their initiatives, their dreams. And when you do that through sales because you have to ask for the sale, you have to earn the right to be able to change their life. And isn't that amazing? For me, that fills me up.
Oh, and it brings you joy, and I can hear the excitement. Your voice is getting elevated. Your shoulders are rising. I can see this energy bubble that's happening around you right now. It's great. People forget that when they become an entrepreneur or they've started a company, that they often did it because they figured out a solution for themselves, or they've been teaching it at corporate or running a business at corporate or running an arm or in the C-suite, whatever that looked like for them. And they took a step back and they thought, I'm tired of helping somebody else make money. It's time for me to make money myself. Or a few weeks ago, we had somebody on who started a nonprofit out of the necessity that her child couldn't go into daycare because of his special needs. And so the only way she could make money, sell something, was create her own business. And she found a product that worked for her to do that. And then she also took some of her expertise. It is amazing to me how many women we will have a conversation with that will say, I don't like to sell.
Well, yeah.
And that's okay. But
well, it's not if you want to stay in business and you want to be successful.
I guess the truth. So it's okay if they want a hobby, right? I guess maybe that's what it is. But the language around it, we need to change. And I often, when I have a client who feels that way, I will talk about, when is the last time you saw something at Target that you liked? You saw something on Amazon that you liked. You went to get your nails done, or you had a tan, or you had skincare service, or you got your hair done, or you had your car worked on, and you go into the Nextdoor app because it says, who knows a good dentist, and you make a referral. How many checks are you getting in the mail from all those people you just referred?
Yeah.
And yet you had a positive experience. So how is it that you can look at your own business and be the tip of tongue and the top of mind for others to be sharing about you? So let's talk about that, Lynn, because I know that in your strategy, you have some really good tips around that.
Yeah. So the first place, I want everyone to take that step back, obviously do the mindset shift into service. But the second thing is you have to stop thinking from your perspective, because it's the client who buys. It's your client who makes the purchase. So often what happens in sales is people are projecting, and that's where they're doing that pitching, and they can be really enthusiastic about their product or service, and they just keep talking about it. Well, they haven't asked the questions. A salesperson at their core, and this includes being an entrepreneur, you're a detective. You're trying to figure out the best way and the best path for your business, but you're doing the same for your client. You've got to identify what's really happening for them, what's going on in their business right now. What's the catalyst that's caused them to start having a conversation with you? What's driving this shift in their thinking that they're talking to you about hiring you, right? Because that's what they're doing.
That's true.
And you're really looking for what are the motivators and the emotions behind that. what's those undercurrents? Because people make an emotional decision first, and then they rationalize it. And that's a really important thing. We go through that thing, we go, oh, I like that. I want it. I gotta have it. That's classic Tom Hopkins, of course. But that happens. We see something in the store, we like it. And then it's like, well, I want it.
Isn't
and
there
then
a
it's,
song?
I gotta have it.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Yeah, exactly. And so the only way we can find that out is from our clients. And for most business owners, you already have those raving fans. We've just been talking about kekas, right?
Yeah.
So you've got those raving fans. You've got people who've given you testimonials. They've given you reviews. Well, you can gather all that information and you can start to put together your client's love language. How do they describe working with you? How do they describe the experience? How do they describe why they hired you? So we have this whole process that we work with on our clients to really establish the voice of the client. So now we're not using our words or their words, we're using their client's words.
And isn't it interesting how many people will be listening to answer and not listening to serve? They're not listening. They have a quick answer. And you wonder, did you really hear what I just said, or are you trying to make sure I'm purchasing XYZ? And we often have heard, especially lately, that we're losing the trust economy. And I think that there's no better way to build that back up than show up authentically. And I get tired of that word, but in a very trustful space where you are walking your walk. Your brand speaks before you. You have language and sincerity around your values and your mission, and you show up in your brand. You model it every day, and it's not forced, and it's not fake, and it's not an Instagram filter. It's you. And even if you don't want to be the face of that product, well, most services you have to be the face of. But if you don't want to be the face of a product, you want the product to speak for itself, and you want the people who purchase that to be the face of it, right? And to create that vulnerable space so that when somebody does see it for the first time, it's an immediate trust and believability. Share with us, you went from being at corporate, you had the top sales in many of the businesses, and I was listening to Listen at our dinner the other day, because what I learned about you is something we have in common. Do you want to know what that is?
Sure.
I came out of college and I went right to the printing industry.
Oh, yeah. I was in printing for a long time.
My first two clients were the Phoenix Suns and Bank of America. And the Phoenix Suns had been with a company for 25 years. It was their 25th year anniversary. And I was introduced to somebody who was making some decisions, and we won the bid to take on all their 25th anniversary logo, letterhead, business cards. Dan Marley was part of the team. Charles Barkley was part of it. We were doing calendars and posters, and I got to be a part of all of that. And I saved them money over 25 years of working with the same company. And yet my company was also making money, but I found a way to develop trust at a young age, going into a powerhouse professional team and being confident enough that the company, the product that I was representing would deliver. And then I did the same with Bank of America. And when I heard that about you, I thought, oh, I'm going to wait to tell her that when we get her in, because there's a starting point for everybody in a business they start.
Oh, absolutely. And we all have a passion for why we're doing what we're doing. We should, because that's something you can't fake, as you said, and people can see it, they can sense it, they can feel it. I call it being originally authentic.
Oh.
And when you care about the outcomes for your clients, they can sense that too. And so one of the things you touched on that I loved is that when you are asking those questions, the power tip, and they answer, just do a little, I'm curious. Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Because what happens is people, when they answer that second time, it's like peeling back the the onion. They'll give you more information, and you actually start to dig deeper and really understand what's happening, what's motivating them, what's driving them to be considering hiring you, working with you, purchasing your products or services. And that's really a key differentiator, because so many people, they're not actually asking the questions to uncover what's really going on. And when you do that, now you're building that trust, because now you can repeat, oh, okay, so Veronica, you started out in printing and you're working with B of A and you found ways to save them money and build the relationship, make it even stronger. That's amazing. So now you're repeating back what they said.
Love that tip.
So,
Great job.
I mean, that's a classic, but you also have to be listening actively.
Sure.
And then what's the next question? And when you're thinking like your client and you've worked out that voice of your client, you actually have a pathway to follow, because that is creating a consistent, repeatable, and scalable sales process by creating your discovery questions. But you know that you're going to move, you're going to pivot, and you're going to deviate, because it's not an automated robotic script.
Not cookie cutter, like you see across all social media right now. And I have a VA team and they're new. And I said, I don't want cookie cutter posts and social captions. And I don't want it to look like everybody else's. That's what makes what I do very unique. It needs to be specific from a creative standpoint. And then it really needs to be in line with what the client's looking like and following that branding. I wanted to also circle back a little bit, because your company's 10 years old. That's when you jumped into the entrepreneurial pool, because you knew you had something of value to share with the world. What was that like for you? Because there's many people who are listening and watching today, Lynn, that are wanting or trying to decide if they're leaving their job to go believe in ME. Let's go do that.
Well, and everyone has different reasons and motivations. I mean, I've been in sales my whole life, since selling Girl Scout cookies, literally as a young girl.
Were you the winner in your block?
I was the winner, and I was winner in our district.
Oh, well, district. Okay, then, Miss Lynn Whitbeck. Okay.
Yeah. So everyone has different things, but the sales was not ever a thing for me. But I believe so passionately about sales, and I love helping clients with their sales, and it's not rocket science. But my gosh, when I can see their business growing and they're able to help and serve more people with their amazing products and services, I mean, it just fills me with joy.
So when you filed your LLC, did you have a little bit of fear there, or were you all in, ready to go?
No, I'm
well,
sorry.
I'm looking. Because this is true.
I went for it. I mean, and I think the biggest stumbling blocks for me were other things. It's like share. I have to be on every single social media platform, which I'm not anymore. Because
so you
Pinterest
thought your
is not for me.
Visibility meant everywhere, all over, all the time.
Gosh,
24/7.
You have to do all the things. You have to do, and I mean, I think I spent our whole first year. Was focused on building content and having, all the things, a million blog posts.
No.
Yeah, it was just, so in some ways, that aspect of being a business owner I call myself a poster child for taking the long road around to travel a short distance.
Oh, I hear you. My first time out of the gate, I think I'll never forget when I let go of my social media marketing team, because I was so tired of doing it myself. And I had little growth happening. And it was way back when Instagram and Facebook were brand new. And I had grown some great relationships through Facebook. I was really looking to grow the Instagram piece. And I was just burnt out and tired. So I hired somebody, brought them in, let them go 9 months later. And really it was because misspelled words, there were so many things. And they said to me, wow, we've never had anybody let us grow whose account we grew by 6,500%. And I'm like, I had 2 people on Instagram and now I have, 350. It was just this weird algorithm they wanted me to, or KPI they wanted me to measure. And yet I had no new clients. And the visibility, it's not like many people were doing, but it taught me something. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I can do this better than them, because I have heart, I have foresight, I have experience. I see things that others don't, and I'm just going to find out a way to turn this into how I can support and help my clients, because I have been there and I've spent the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars trying to do it myself. And you're going to pay for it either way. You're going to pay for it in time, or you're going to pay for it in speed. And you get to decide, because either way you're going to eventually, if you got fortitude and you have action and you're excited about your business, you will have success. It's just, what road are you going to choose to get there? And I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different things, and there's certainly in sales, there's a certain amount of gurus out there. Oh, you have to do this cookie cutter thing exactly this way, and do these steps, and say this and say that, and they just take your money.
It's sexy packaging.
They have no intention of. They don't really care if you're successful or not. They just want your money.
Do you know that for the last 3 years, I've had a budget to purchase all the sexy packaging out there, because I wanted to see what the back end looked like. Junk, garbage. But they had to have sold thousands and thousands of the sexy packaging at the reduced rate thing. And then you get in there and it's like, this is a mess.
Yeah.
And how do you quiet that noise? And dang it, once you buy one, that's all the ads you get fed. And you have to unsubscribe. I don't want to see this anymore. No, stop, please. But there's so much truth to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the sad things, because we've all experienced the sales where it was a horrible experience. They'd taken our money and we didn't get anything for it. And so I think that one of the things, for me, what sets me apart is that I say, well, why don't you talk to some of my previous clients or existing clients? Have a human-to-human, one-on-one conversation with them. Find out what kind of results they got. What were the outcomes? What was the experience like?
And
good old references.
Oh, and it's so funny how I'll talk to so many women they lose confidence when things get hard. They might start off really quick out of the gate, and they have proof of concept, and they know what they're doing is resonating and working, and then they start second-guessing themselves. And I think sometimes they start second-guessing themselves because they watch people around them and they perceive that they're more successful than they are. And so what are you doing, and what are you doing, and what are you doing, and I want to go do that, that, and that. And then they start to feel, when somebody tells me they don't like sales, I'll say, oh, what was your bad experience? Yeah. Because usually that's why. It has nothing to do with them promoting and being excited about a transformation they make or a product that they have that they know makes a difference. It's because they bought into something that didn't work so great for them, and that's how they don't want to appear.
Yeah. Well, and they can also have been taught a pretty negative sales process of asking for the sale and being very manipulative or aggressive or, but I always think of it as an invitation. A discovery session for me is, not only can I help them in identifying what's really going on, but are they going to execute on it? Are they going to work effectively to make this, to create a consistent, repeatable, scalable sales process?
I love it.
But the last thing is, do I want to work with them?
Isn't that
because
nice that
if I don't want to work with them, it's a no offer.
Oh, and no offer.
You point them to
That's a mic drop moment.
Well, because those clients that aren't a good fit, you've been there. Come on.
No,
you know how much work they are? Mm-hmm. And they just bring your whole team down.
And the bless and release was the best thing that ever happened for them and for us.
Yeah. Exit gracefully, stage left, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And how you end a relationship or a business commitment is so much more important than how you ever started it. So much more.
Yeah. Yeah. You always, you just always want to take the high road. You don't want to burn the bridges. And because, we all get into those situations where it can be a negative experience, but I don't know. That's just not the hill I'm going to die on.
You've got a lot of really good one-liners here, Miss Lynn. I want to talk about what it's been like for you to make a brand identity shift.
Well, that was
Because this is new.
yeah,
And this happens. It's okay to refresh.
yeah. No, I mean it was a needed change. When I started the company, I came up with a name, and I still like that name of the business, but to be truthful, it did not reflect what I did. It didn't reflect what the new business name is Strategic Sales Queen.
Yay!
Because I am a queen of sales, but I'm very strategic. It's all about creating. I look at how we can leverage everything. It's not constantly being on a hamster wheel to create new stuff or get new leads. It's like close the sales and the prospects that you have, and connect with the right people to begin with. Quality always over quantity.
Agree.
And being in who you are, your authentic self. Yes. And so, and really leaning into understanding your client thinking so you can connect more effectively with the right people.
I love the word
And quicker.
effectively.
Yeah.
And quicker. The sales process is faster. One of the things that drives me crazy is when I click on a link for somebody I'm ready to make a purchase. And they want me to click on 3 or 4 other things before I actually get there. And they want to upsell me on every step along the way when I was ready to do the one thing. And I really just want to check out. And then I leave. I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. Or a link is broken. If you're the CEO of your company, you're the president, founder, whatever name you're giving yourself, but you started it. If you haven't checked any of your links on your socials or your website or anywhere that you show up to make sure that they're all going to exactly where you think they're supposed to be going, shame on you. You need to go check that out, because so many clients that I have an opportunity to connect with miss that piece. They don't know that those things, a 404, how long has that been out there?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that you have to also be doing for yourself. Trusting the process, but stepping in and taking a peek at all the places you show up as well, because that says something about who you are and what you stand for, and get the mess out of your message.
Yeah, it's true. And as soon as you see something like that, you take action to get it fixed. Broken links, things like that, they do happen for various reasons. Trust me. We've had to update almost 5,000 URLs because of how much content we have on our website.
Because you're doing a name change. So you had to be willing to do that.
Yeah, but
my gosh.
But we have to do it methodically. We had a very methodical process to go through.
Strategy.
So that we don't miss a step and create angst for people who are coming to check us out. Because that's one of the things that you do when you are a mess, or branding. Oh my gosh, just different colors, different fonts, images distorted,
new logos, all the things.
And then people look at you and they go, "Well, if you're that much of a hot mess, what would it be like to work with you?" I mean, that's the thing in sales. People go to war with you in their mind because you're presenting. You're not presenting yourself.
They go to war with you in their mind, and you might not even know it.
Yeah. Oh, I would do that when I would see a presentation and I'm going like, okay, this is a hot mess. What would it be like to work with them? And I'm going to trust them with my money?
I have something to piggyback on that. When we launched Be Visible with Veronica, the visible was spelled incorrectly. And we went through 11 different eyes are taking a look at this. And then we had the step and repeat. We had the launch happening. And nobody saw. I didn't see it. The marketing team didn't see it. The podcast studio didn't. Nobody noticed that visible was spelled incorrectly. And it was the night before the big day of launch. We'd been in the studio recording. We're ready to post. You know what it takes to launch.
Yeah.
We are launching. And my sweet, at the time, soon-to-be daughter-in-law says to my son, "Do you think your mom meant to spell visible wrong?" It was visable, visable, instead of visible. And I died. I was dying. It's 11 o'clock at night, Lynn, and I'm thinking, this is a hot mess. I can't go out there as in marketing with my company and the consultancy and all these things they do for everybody and show up with my logo wrong. What the heck does that say about the work that I'm creating? And I just took a deep breath and I thought, done is better than none. This is a story to tell, like today. And we went for it anyway. And do you know we had day one launch records for the studio? My producer's here. He would attest to that. But we went forward anyway. And then we told the story later. And we changed it. It just was an immediate shift. But those things happen.
Yeah.
And I think as an entrepreneur, you have to also be willing to come out in a truthful space and go, guess what, everybody? This is wrong. And I'm acknowledging it, but we're fixing it. And I just get to tell the story. And people laugh because they've all been there.
Yeah. Well, we all have humility squares. And,
Yes.
people aren't perfect and we're not meant to be. So...
and then we made it right, and
Yeah.
it was all okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can also address things, piece by piece, too. I mean, what's the most critical to get done, that could still happen before the show went live, right? And so I think a lot of times that, when we are creating that process map and we're looking at it, there'll be a step that you go, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I've had that happen so many times with an author, because I know you were just interviewing an author, and they got this whole book. They've worked so much on it. And then I take a look at the book, and I'm going like, well, you realize that there's not a single call to action to move people onto your lead, from a lead magnet onto your email list. And I said, it's great that you're going to launch this whole book and get all these readers, but you want them on your list so they can buy something.
At least if that's the whole process of what you want that book to do for you.
Well, I mean, books are a great vehicle to, depending on, once again, what your passion is. And probably not if you're doing cozy mysteries, but, if it's like my Domestic Diva series and she's always cooking and all that, well, that could lead to a whole web page about her favorite products, because she has recipes in the back, like where to buy some special ingredients or special, I don't know, plum pudding pans. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but
Somebody's
there's
going to
a
make
whole
that
other
now,
strategy
Lynn. Somebody's going to make
around
that.
this stuff. Yeah, but think about it, because you've already got those readers, especially got their Kindles, and they just click through.
And they
Or
want
have
to
a
click
QR
through
code.
fast. What is
Yeah,
it? They
and buy
shouldn't
it.
be clicking more than 3 times to make a purchase.
Yeah. Yeah, you always have to be really aware of that. I mean, that comes up with something you're talking about in sales. A confused mind, doesn't buy. And one of the things, people do this all the time, is it's like, oh, well, I have this program with these different add-ons, and then I have this program with these different add-ons. And it's like, no, you never want more than 3 offers, 3 clean offers. It's A, B, or C. And you always, always, always start with the highest priced offer.
Why is that?
Because it's much easier to slide down the hill than it is to climb up. And you psychologically set the pricing expectation. So when you deliver the first item as the highest priced item or product or service, right? But only 3. So if somebody's looking for steel screws because they're going to be doing something that needs to be stainless steel, well, the first one you're going to give them is that really good 18/8 gauge stainless steel screw, right? And then there'll be 2 different lesser screws that we could still do the job. But you fix the price point in their mind. And then why do they want the highest quality? Well, the stainless steel isn't going to rust when it's in a marine environment, right? And that 18/8 gauge is going to be stronger. And I could be messing this up, people. I'm not a screw expert. But the whole point is
Yes, the metaphor is good.
Yeah.
I'm going to just give you that.
Yeah, so it's universal, right? And so when you think about that, you're psychologically setting an expectation about the price. And if that is something it's like, well, okay, that was so far out of my budget right now, but I can afford this one. Oh, that's so great. I'll be able to do this, and I'll still be able to work with Veronica. So that's the thing. It's like, what is, and why, who buys that? Because they want that accelerated success. They want more done for you.
Do you
Frog in my
suggest they
throat,
put
yeah.
all of them on a sales page online? Or do you have only one and then you have options? What do you think? Or does it really depend on the market you're in?
Yeah, there's so many different nuances. It really depends on your specific product or service, your own particular style. And, price is all around the perceived value. And I really want to get that straight.
Okay.
There is especially if we're doing a service, but even with products, I mean, people buy a Gucci purse versus a Brighton purse. Well, there's a huge price difference, but it's a perceived value. And the Brighton audience, they're not trying to sell to the Gucci audience, right?
You're right.
So, I want us to, value is what people purchase. And the price becomes irrelevant. And people get so hung up on what the heck do I price this at? What's the perceived value? What is the outcome you're delivering? What's that worth? Think about the outcome if you're delivering someone's health, better health because you're a health coach and some of the things that you're doing, and they're going to be able to live longer, healthier, get around more, be more active, enjoy their family, maybe their grandchildren, Well, that's pretty much priceless.
But
true. Think about how you present the benefits and correlate that into a monetary value that they're going to receive. For me in sales, it's pretty easy. You're going to sell a whole bunch more, So, and if you can get one new client a month, how much is that worth to you? Right. And so
a lifetime client value.
Yeah. Well,
LTV.
there's the short term and there's the long term. So all of those things, you do the math, right? And you come up with the math, even when it's something where it's like, well, I'm going to give them a better life, more activity, a longer life. Well, there is a serious value to that. And so figuring that out helps really establish the value in the minds of your clients. And once again, if you've used your voice to your client where they've told you the value and why it mattered, why they hired you, and what the results have been, that's gold.
Magic. It really is gold. It's gold and magic. It's a treasure.
Yeah.
It's a treasure box. Lynn, this was a beautiful conversation, and I wish that we could continue it, but we are at the bottom of our hour or time together. We'll just say that. And I want you to give how people can reach out to you. What's the best way for them to connect with you if they want to learn more?
Absolutely. Well, I would recommend that you get my strategic sales checklist, and you can get that at strategicsalesqueen.com/checklist. And the reason why is because that checklist is going to show you maybe some gaps that you currently have in your sales, some things that you're really rocking, but some things that may be like, whoa, okay, I got to fix this. So it's really easy to digest. Take you 5 minutes, and you're going to be able to have some insight in your own sales and some things that maybe you should be taking a look at. So that's where I would recommend you do that.
And we will put that in the show notes for everybody who's listening and watching, or they're driving. And
yeah,
what was that? What did she say again? I don't remember. So we'll put it in the show notes so you can always come back and pick it up. And along with that, they could do the visibility quiz and see what their visibility says about them.
Absolutely. Because sales and marketing go hand in hand, and they have to work together.
They do so much. I'm so glad that we came here today to work together. Yeah. Can't wait to have you. You are giving a talk, and you've come in as our speaker, our keynote for an event tomorrow with eWomen Network here in the Phoenix area. I'm so excited for that. But I give all of our guests, and I'm going to actually mail this to you, but thank you for being on Be Visible with Veronica. It's a Hello Sunshine box, so you remember to continue to spread those rays of sunshine that continue to reach far beyond where you live and the space that you're in. So thank you.
Well, thank you. This is lovely. It's been a pleasure.
If you've loved what you've heard today, you're going to want to actually go back and take some notes. You're going to want to listen to it more than once, and you're going to want to share it because there's so many juicy tips here. Lynn, I've learned so much from you, and I'm sure our audience has too. And I can't wait to read some of the comments from this episode.
That would be fun.
We will see you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it. Tag me and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.